much can we find out about a recent earthquake in California in less than 5 minutes surfing the web? The United States Geological Survey is a great source for up-to-the-minute information about earthquakes. The California-Nevada page shows all the earthquakes in the area in the last week. There are usually enough earthquakes in a week's time to help us locate the San Andreas Fault, which I always do since it's the cause of it all. A link from this page takes us to an intensity map. The orange and yellow areas show a strong shaking and moderate damage in the Napa area. Blue and green areas show only mild shaking in San Francisco. There's usually a link from the USGS page to seismograms, but not today, so let's pop over to the San Francisco newspaper, where we can see a seismogram and find out that a state of emergency was declared by the governor near Napa. We also confirmed that there was at least some damage to buildings near the epicenter. Now on to Google Earth, where we zoom in to the location of the earthquake in Napa. As we zoom in, if we look closely, we can see the landforms and the fault lines that run through California and surround the quake. As it turns out, this earthquake was not on the San Andreas Fault, but on a nearby subsidiary fault called the West Napa Fault, indicated here in yellow. The San Andreas plate boundary is in red. Now back to Google Earth. We can use the measuring tool to see that this earthquake on the West Napa Fault happened about 30 miles away from the San Andreas. When we look at the bottom left corner of our homepage, we see that there are 799 earthquakes listed on this map for the last week. 9 earthquakes. Look bottom left again on the close-up to see that about 250 of those are right around the current quake. So 1 in 3 of this week's earthquakes are probably aftershocks of the big Napa quake. Below this inset map, there is a list of all 252 quakes listed on the map. Each line tells the magnitude, date, time, and location of an individual earthquake. As we scroll down the list, notice that only the items in bold are likely to be felt. Only the items in bold are 3-point quakes or higher. And it looks like there have been 2 aftershocks that are 3 points or above, and the original quake, 6.0, is big enough to show in red. If we click on any one of those earthquakes, we get to a page that's just about that specific earthquake. It shows the date, time, and magnitude again. And underneath that, a lot more specific information about that particular event. What have we learned about our earthquake in our less than 5 minutes online? It happened in Napa, California on August 24th, 2014 at 3:30 a.m. Pacific Time. The earthquake caused strong shaking, moderate damage. A state of emergency was declared. Damage was limited to the Napa area. Only light to moderate shaking was felt in San Francisco. Our search took place about 16 hours after the event. As of that time, there had been about 250 aftershocks. Most of them were microquakes, which locals would not have felt. 2 of those aftershocks were above a magnitude 3. This is Mrs. Minimax signing off.